Okay, this is the third example of adding and subtracting of rational expressions. And I've got an example here that I want to work through that's a little bit more challenging, not much more. It uses the same method we used last time. We factor and then find a common denominator, and then by doing the common denominator, you find out what are we multiplying by to get that common denominator, multiply that in the numerator, and then work it out. Again, I'm using a subtraction example, but addition would be the same. Okay, in our case here, we have to simply factor out that second expression here. Two numbers, now we're going to have to use decomposition here because there's no common factor here. Two numbers that multiply to 100 and add to negative 20. Well, that seems difficult, but it's not really that difficult. Negative 25 times positive 4. No, that won't work. We would get negative 21. Well, what about 100 would be 10, and 10 would work in our case. Okay, both of them being 10 and 10. So let's work that out. 4m squared minus 10m minus 10m plus 25. Okay, so we're going to just do the decomposition underneath here before I go on. Take out a common factor of 2m. So this becomes 2m minus 5. And take out common factor of 5. This would be negative 5 here. And this would become 2m minus 5 as well. Okay, so then if I write this out, this is 3 times 2m minus 5 minus 4 times 2m minus 5 times 2m minus 5. Okay, so our common denominator is going to be 2m minus 5s, our lowest common denominator. This one has 2, this one only has 1. So our lowest common denominator, or LCD if you like, is 2m minus 5 times 2m minus 5. So let's put the lowest common denominator in, and I like to put it all over. Well, what is this missing here? Well, this one here has one of them, but not the other. So you have to multiply 2m minus 5 here, so that you don't change that. Then you subtract 4, and there is no common, this is the exact same thing as the bottom here, so you could either multiply by 1 or just leave it. And then just simplify it there. 6m minus 15 minus 4 over 2m minus 5 times 2m minus 5. Giving us an answer of 6m minus 19 over this 2m minus 5, all squared if you like. I'm just going to put it like that. That would be our answer, but we have to look back at our restrictions here. What are our restrictions from here, up here? Well, we don't want this to be 0, and we don't want this to be 0. So 2m minus 5 cannot equal 0 is our restriction. So in our case, that means 2m cannot equal 5, or m cannot equal 5 halves. There's our restriction, and there's only one in that case. You just check my field of view, make sure that's in there. Okay, and that'll be our last tutorial in section 4.6, the adding and subtracting of rational expressions. Our next part is the end of the chapter, and that's going to be solving equations using rational expressions.